welcome to another layout process video. I'm bringing to you today another page out of the Scrapbook Mega Pad. It's the 6x6 Mega Pad from CARTA and it's called Welcome Fall. And did you see that thumbs up? Jeanette will love the fact that I remembered to move it before I cut my transfer every time. Guys, if you're new to this channel, you have no idea how many times I cut through one of those Teflon mats. I do it all the time. So the fact that I remembered to move it, winning for me. Okay, so what am I doing? I woke up this morning and over my morning coffee, this is when I usually have my creative idea for the day and that I decide to run with. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This one worked. So I wanted to use multiple size circles. So I pulled out my Creative Memories cutting system, my circle cutting system, and these blades, guys, I'm not even joking. These, if you look at them, they're circles. So if you know anything about Creative Memories, you know how old these blades actually are, and they still cut like butter. They are fantastic, and because now they actually have like a hexagon shape so that they don't, but I haven't needed to upgrade mine because mine still cut perfectly. So awesome. It's a testament for the product. I know Creative Memories costs a little bit of money, but I mean, all scrapbooking can cost a fortune, but as far as I was concerned, this is definite bang for buck when you're talking about the cutting systems. So I could have done this on my Cricut. Absolutely. I could have used my compass and just drawn circles and hand cut them out. Could have done that. If you do that and you're not that confident with the cutting, you could possibly simply rough up the edges. So, distress the edges a little bit. That way you don't notice if it's not cut perfectly in a circle. So now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to find... I worked it out the other day and I had to rework it out in inverted commas. I had to figure out the colours that go really well with this. Oh, Gina K's on. So she's doing a scheduled digest. I love watching Gina K. She's just, I don't do cards. I never do cards. I have nothing to offer the card world. But for some reason, there's just a few people that do cards that just, I don't know if it's the tone of their voice or the type of video they do or what. I just love it. So, yes. Anyway, so I'm adding some ink around these circles. Not to add a lot of mixed media, because this page, I truly just wanted it to be about the papers. And most of these 6x6, I've got them all. If you want to see all of what I've created with this particular Mega Pad, I've actually saved them all under the same playlist. So it's a 6x6 playlist and paper pad playlist. And I believe my husband's home. And sorry, I'm squirrel big time. Gee whiz. So they're all saved under the one playlist. If you want to have a look at that, just have a look for the 6x6 banner and you will find them all in there, which is fantastic. So I know sometimes when I'm looking at, I might find it's not necessarily a series, so to speak, but it's kind of, you want to see the next, do they do any more like this? And that's why I decided I'd squeeze them all into a playlist for you so they were easier to find. And that way, if you go into the playlist, they'll just play continuous for you. So you can see all of them using the same paper pad. So, and I will go ahead and say, feel free to scrap lift any of this stuff. Anything that takes your fancy. I'm not one of these that is, it's my design, That's not me. That's not the Aussie way, man. We do stuff, we share it because we want to show you how easy it can be. We love our craft, and I know myself, I absolutely love what I do. And now I'm bringing you videos. I've only been doing this for 11 months. 11 months today I've been doing this. So I'll be honest, I have teething issues. There's still things to work out. I'm still yet to work out how to do a YouTube short. Trust me, I am, honestly, you need to keep watching, by the way, as I waffle. You wait until you see what I do here in a second with the scissors. I can't believe I did this. It was, see how I'm trying to cut them all and keep them all in their little spot? Because, you know, when you have OCD, that's what you do. And get ready. Guess what I do? Bet you can't guess. And it's literally, so all I'm doing is cutting the pie pieces, I'm calling them, slightly different sizes, and that way I can swap chunks out with other circles of the same size. That's all I'm pretty much doing, and it's just adding a lot of different, it's moving the pattern around the page. You can see that they're in circles, you can see they're in pie chunks, but by having the different patterns all over, it really does come together at the end. So, I really like it. But that being said, I absolutely love this paper pad and these colours. Did you see what I just did? Check that out. That is what we call an oopsie. I'm going to call it an oopsie because otherwise YouTube is going to bar this video. To say that I was less than impressed that I did that, well, whoops, but that's okay. Happens to the best of us, right? So all I did, I hooked the scissors because I was using the giant scissors, and purely because I get a much straighter cut if you're using the shears rather than the mini snips. And yes, it's okay. I fixed it. The only thing that annoyed me about it was it added extra time to my record time. So that's okay. So now I've got them all nearly back where they're supposed to be. So now I'm just using my glue and just putting dots. You don't have to go to town. If you're putting page protectors on your scrapbook layouts, you do not need to go to town with liters of glue. Now I use art glitter glue, and it is extremely firm hold. Like, you use the tiniest bit, you whack 2 pieces of paper together, count to 10, and you will not be able to pull them apart. It is awesome. I love the glue. I love it for that fact. Sometimes I make mini albums, and that's how I actually got onto the glue, because I thought, there's got to be a better solution. And when you're making a mini album and you've scored everything and you've put it all together, you need it to stay put straight away. And I've carried that over into my scrapbooking, because obviously the two are interchangeable, because mini scrapbook albums and normal albums, obviously. But I absolutely love this glue. Now, I haven't bought any more Nuvo Deluxe. What's it called? Still got the bottle sitting here. Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. That stuff is pretty darn good too. When I first got it, and if you go back through all my videos, you can hear me right at the very beginning when I got this, because I'm an art glitter glue girl, right? I am a convert. That is what I'm having. That is it. When I got this glue, I thought I'll try it because everyone seemed to be using it. And I thought, I'm going to give this a crack. And it doesn't hold as quickly. It doesn't bond as quickly. And I struggled with that because things moved slightly. So, but I kept going. I gave it a red hot crack. I have used the entire bottle, and I ate my words because I do like this adhesive. And I think here in Australia, like, I'm in Queensland, right? I'm in southeast Queensland, and we have a very humid, to say we're humid is like the understatement of the century. It's crazy. Although yesterday I had the air conditioning on because it was campfire, crackling, boiling hot, right? And today I've actually had a jumper on during the day. Talk about absolutely crazy balmy weather. Is anyone else, I know there's a few of us in Queensland, and Joe or Fina, like, legit, is it not doing your head in that 1 minute our weather is roasting hot and the next minute it's freezing? It's just absolutely crazy. But I'm not going to complain about the cold part of it. That is merely an observation. It is not a complaint, it is an observation. That is what I say to my daughter all the time. We observe these things, we do not complain about the cold, because it feels like Queensland has two temperatures, boiling hot or not quite. It's, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so all I'm doing while I'm waffling on here is all I'm doing is just gluing down these circles at the moment. So I will have a list in the description in case you're curious as to what colours I used. I personally think that Ground Espresso, Rusty Hinge, and Bundle Sage go absolutely perfectly with this collection. And they're the three I reach for. I did put a little bit of Crackling Campfire. These are my Distress Oxide inks. I have used a little bit of that. The reason I used that was because I wanted to bring out, you can see in the leaves, in some of it, when I do the close-up, some of the leaves are more red than they are brown. So that's why I thought I'll pull in a little bit of the Crackling Campfire and it might actually help it pop. And it did. I do really like it. So, and I use the Thickers Happy Life. And in case I forgot to say it, what I'm doing is I'm trying to smash the entire mega pad. So the 6x6 mega pad Welcome Fall by CARTA Bella. I was asked by a subscriber to see if I could use the entire pad, because let's be honest, we buy supplies and they stay in our cupboard and they build up. You know, it does happen. I've got myself a nice little collection going on, don't you worry about that. But yeah, so what I'm doing here is, see, I'm using all the scraps. So everywhere I've cut circles, all I'm doing is adding a bit of tape, and see, it looks like it's a whole piece on the back, but it's not. I'm just using up the scraps of each piece. I could have taken it one step further and trimmed off the extra bits so I could maybe punch a shape out of it or whatever. But I'm trying to be as realistic with my paper as what I think you guys would be. I don't think everyone saves every skerrick of paper. I have been that person for quite a long time where I keep everything. And if you're new to this and you haven't developed a giant collection yet, beware, because your scrap pile creeps up on you and gets ya. And before you realize it, you'll be going, okay, I've got a mountain of scraps now, what do I do with them? So in the new year, I'm actually going to do some pages and possibly a series on what different things you can do with scraps. You know, just because you don't have an entire collection anymore doesn't mean you can't use them up. Now this is my little trick that, oh, see what I just did? Do you see how I just ripped that circle? Don't stress, I fix it. Left it in there though, because this is what happens. It's reality. So I'm just putting a piece of washi tape down and I'm just running my finger dobber that has Ground Espresso on it around the edge. That gives me my perfect little border. And then when I spin it back around, all I'm doing here is fixing that one piece of patterned circle, and I ripped it. It's that simple. I ripped it. So I just cut out, had another circle sitting there. It is slightly larger than the circle. See how I can't lift up that piece of paper? That's because it's got art glitter glue on it. It doesn't move. You do not get much leeway when it comes to that. that glue. Your Nuvo Deluxe has a great tip on it, and it gives you a little bit more leeway, so a bit more movement. Now this is what I decided to do, because this is a fall collection, right? Here in Australia, we don't call it fall, we call it autumn. So I didn't want to waste this sticker. I absolutely loved that giant bold sticker. So I just cut the F off it and cut around the A, and it looks like it was always meant to be like that. So I've kept the F because you never know, I might need an F on something. And yeah, I just trimmed it around, and now it just looks like a piece of a titled ephemera. And just made the title Love You All. Because Dory does. She does deep down, she loves us all. She does have issues with one of my children. Miss Dory, she was a bit of a rescue situation, so she comes with a little basket full of problems, but she's here with us, and we've given her forever home. And unfortunately, with a rescue situation, you can never really understand what's going on in the dog's mind when you take the dog on. Now, unfortunately, there's something about my middle child. She's a beautiful girl. Honestly, she would not hurt an animal ever. But she must remind Dory of someone that possibly mistreated her. So she steers very clear of Ange. But that's on her. That's her business. That's, she cruises. She gets there. She's all good. She's beautiful. She's one of those dogs. And, I say it all the time. She's not the prettiest Chihuahua. She's like that ugly pretty, like the one, the one in the litter where you go, bit crooked, not quite right, smiles a bit funny, eyes are a little whatever, but it makes them who they are. And Dorothy is just the most adorable puppy dog. We just love her. She's so cute. She's going really grey now though, let me tell you. Her and Coco, who is our Foxy, mate, they're giving each other a good run for their money in the grey department. It's pretty crazy. And it's really funny because they're both like old grey nanas. It's so funny. And they get up and they creak and groan and they hobble on their legs a little bit until they get going. It's a bit like me in the morning, but that's all right. Me in the morning. God, it's like me every minute of every day. So I'm just running around with some pen work. Now the pen work, if you're new to my channel, I quite often use pens. This one is a Uniball Signo broad white pen I get from Officeworks, and these little bits of pen work just make papers pop. It's something that you can add to your repertoire that costs you nearly nothing, but it can really make the difference with a layout. So if you look at how this looked before I did any pen work on it to how it looks now, it just pops. So yeah, just another thing to take away. And you might use it a lot. You might not do it at all, but give it a crack. So this is my layout. Now I am adding a couple of little, they're called, I don't even know what they're called. You can't get them anymore. They don't sell them anymore. But they're like they're like metal caps, and they've got adhesive on the back, and they do match perfectly. But I thought, you know what? That's just overkill. So I stopped. So here is the close-ups for you guys. Have a look at that pen work. That and the ink around each circle just makes them pop a little bit more. And yeah, so if you want to see a list of everything that I used, it will be in the description below, along with my Instagram and my Facebook group links. If you want to go over there, I post a stack of photos zoomed right in so you can see everything up close, and we share things over there. And as of tomorrow, there will be a challenge every day for the first 25 days of December, thanks to Cass from Crazy Craft Obsessions. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat to you again real soon, guys. Thanks. Bye for now.